Economic forecast, good news, the global economy is doing well. This is having a positive effect on our GDP. Interest rates? Relative GDP, debt is going up like a rocket. Global economy is, curiously. Income going up, so is expenditure. The charts screen show a number of vital indicators for your economy over time. The global economy will influence your own GDP. Your debt level should always be a concern, as when it gets too high, the bond market may get nervous and charge a higher interest rate, which could lead to a debt spiral. Well, that's complicated. This is a spreadsheet game. This chart shows a breakdown of government income or revenue. If revenue is less than expenditure, the shortfall or deficit will be made up from government borrowing. This might be okay in the short term, but borrowing increases the national debt. All debt will incur interest payments. You can click on any item to see further details. 95% tax efficiency. Income tax is more than half. That's crazy. Sales tax, corporation tax, government borrowing, capital gains tax, property tax, petrol, car, tobacco, inheritance. Okay. Expenditure. This chart shows a breakdown of government expenditure. You can click on an individual items for more detail. Note that the cost of many items will vary over time depending on a variety of factors. Sure. Military spending, state pension, state schools, state health service. Wait a minute. The space program is 6.1. That's not even close to accurate. That's nowhere near what the space program gets in the United States. The United States gets like 0.5% in the space program in the real world. What is that about? Rail subsidies, science funding, alcohol abuse. Alright, so there's all of that. Interesting. Wait, I wasn't done with the report. Quarterly report. Polls report. Your approval rating is disappointing. If we believe the polls, you would get just 31% of the vote. This chart shows an estimate of the percentage of the electorate that claim they would vote for you if there were an election right now. This may not be accurate, as turnout is unlikely to be 100%. Voters with no strong view either way may not show up to vote on election day unless it's made compulsory. Alright, cool. Why does that... What's that though? What's that down? Detail polls. Liberals hate me for some reason. Retired people like me. Patriots like me. State, religious, poor, self-employed. Capitalist. Commuter, socialist. Why do capitalists and socialists have the same opinion of me? I don't understand. Conservative, middle income, everyone, ethnic minorities, environmentalists, trade unions. Apparently I'm not very popular with the unions and liberals. This is the polling data. It shows lines for each voter group indicating how their opinion of the government has changed over time. You can toggle each line on and off using color buttons for each group, blah blah blah. Let's check out the focus groups while we're here. Hit the focus group button. Well, I'm glad that I can still click on half the button. The individuals lined up at the bottom are members of a random focus group. Click on an individual photo for more information. You can also find similar information on each voter group details screen. To see a focus group drawn from a specific voter type, this should help explain how voters make decisions. Okay. Influences, opinions. Alright, well, it's... That's pretty bad. Focus group. Alright, next. For each individual, this diagram shows the extent to which they associate with each voter group they are in, the opinion they get from that association, and how all that comes together to show the final opinion they have of your government. This is a middle income ethnic minority. How is she an ethnic minority? She looks hella white. Retired? Super retired, middle income retired minority. Who is kind of socialist. Now, let's take a look at the popularity of your policies in the polls. Policies. This is a list of all the policies you currently have implemented and what percentage of the population approve of them. This doesn't necessarily mean unpopular policies should be changed. They may be raising needed revenue or be achieving desirable social objectives. Also remember that voters also get upset by situations in real-world phenomena, not just government policies. Okay. Jury trial, import tariffs, everybody loves that. Abortion law. Biofuel subsidies. Okay. Anyways, I came to investigate following figures. I'll leave you to it, alright. Tobacco tax, nobody likes it. Armed police. Nobody likes armed police. Wait, what's this about? Both systems taught? Are you kidding me? Implementation 100%, zero popularity with voters. Both systems taught, and nobody likes it. A bitter battle has raged about the way children are taught evolution versus creationism. Scientists and liberals consider it obvious that evidence-based evolution should be taught in science classes. Some religious groups feel it's wrong to teach evolution or Darwinism as fact. When it remains an unproven theory, or that creationism should be taught as an alternative theory in science, the government has to decide what is taught in our schools. Well, okay. So you can go emphasis on evolution, emphasis on creationism, creationism only. Man, wow, hey. Religious membership goes up, religious goes up, liberalism goes down, liberal goes down. Technological advantage goes down. Fascinating. Fascinating. Alright, let's just do that. Yes. Confirm using alright, let's do that. Alcohol law. So like tobacco tax. I mean, I've used up all my capital. Wait a minute, why is like nobody happy with this? Tobacco usage goes down, poverty goes up. It's just bad all the way. Like equality goes down, everyone's opinions go down. That's the weirdest thing. Alright, revert. Armed police, widespread. Every officer armed, submachine guns. This is pretty funny. Widespread in every department. Specialists. Probably should be specialists. Although we need gun control too. Maybe we should need gun control before we take the guns away from the cops. Alcohol law, minimum age 21. Alcohol consumption goes up. Liberalism goes up. Violent crime goes up. Youth gets happier. 21. I think 18. 18 is actually reasonable. If it's no, that's probably dangerous. You don't want kids drinking. It actually does stunt the development. 16 probably stunts the development too. Low strength beer, strong restriction. This is like prohibition. Low strength beer. Cancel. Sales tax. 16% sales tax. Classic regressive tax, which means it does not take into account the ability to pay. Critics argue that this affects the poor disproportionately and thus increases inequality. Supporters argue that it's relatively easy to collect and affects everyone, and is thus fair. It's not fair. Businesses can be opposed to the administrative burden of the tax. Alright, well. Prisoner tagging. A high-tech alternative to incarceration that allows people to reintegrate with the community upon release from prison, whilst allowing law enforcement authorities to keep a close eye on them. Liberals have concerns that such a system is a step towards a police state which monitors our every move. It does reduce crime. It also makes liberals hate me. Fascinating. Cancel. Alright. Inheritance tax. 19% popularity. We should probably raise it. Yeah. Why would middle income people be sad? It's like, yeah. Wait, the middle income people are more sad about it than the high earners? Are you kidding me? Can we like make it 100%? Can we get 100%? Inheritance tax. In principle, I am against inheritance tax because it's literally giving some people, or inheritance, I mean. I'm against inheritance. I'm not inheritance tax. I'm against inheritance because it gives some people a head start. So it's anti-meritocratic. So it's not. So like your success is not based on whether you're good at what you do, but based on how much money you got from your parents. So that's not it's bad on. So it is. I mean, it works against equality. So people like Donald Trump, who inherited a fortune from his parents, is now a rich person despite him being a complete idiot and bankrupting his company several times. But when you have enough money, bankrupting doesn't really matter because you can hire enough like accountants and business people to fix everything for you. So yeah. We don't want money to concentrate into the hands of people who are incompetent, right? So if you cannot inherit, then the only way you can make money is if you earn it yourself. And so the money stays out of the hands of the incompetent. Anyway, well, let's just leave that for now. I don't have capital anyway. Technology colleges. This is what is this? What is high? Is cost. Technology colleges are specialist schools with a focus on computer literacy, biotechnology, and similar subjects. These state-run colleges receive special funding from central government in order to encourage a greater level of technological literacy among the future workforce. Oh, this is how much we fund the thing. Wait, why do socialists hate this? Why would they hate this? Why would they dislike technology colleges? That doesn't make any sense. Why would they become happier if there were no schools? That doesn't make any sense. Property tax. Tax levied on the value of homes. Valuation is often made by a government body. Some see it as a fair tax which mostly affects those who can own large homes and are wealthy. Others see it as an unfair tax on retired people with large homes but little actual income. Well, they can sell their large homes and move into a smaller home. Let's crank this up. Yeah, let's go. Wow, this spikes up a lot. So you can get off the wealthy people are okay up until 44, and then they get really mad really fast. Why are they okay up until here? That's weird. So I can put it up all the way to like 44 and they don't really care. This seems like a great way to make money. Car tax. Motorist income. Motorist membership. Environmentalist goes up. Okay, well. How fascinating. How fascinating. So, where's my military spending? Overwhelming. Overwhelming force. So can we like just highly trained, well-trained, light defensive, reservist, ceremonial only? Okay. What if we just go down to well-trained? Overwhelming force, highly trained. State employee income goes down. Well-trained. It does save quite a bit of money. Military spending. I don't know. What should we do? Both demand goes down. We are conservative and capitalist. That's weird. Policies, focus, prototype. Okay, what should we do? What should we do with ourselves? We don't really have much capital left. This shows who you have working in each government department. Each minister will have a different level of experience and loyalty, both of which may change over time. Experienced ministers are more effective at their jobs. They can get policies implemented faster and more cost effectively. Be aware that over time the loyalty of your ministers may vary. Disloyal ministers will provide less political capital, so you may eventually need to consider firing some, or maybe reshuffling the cabinet entirely. Also be aware that each minister is popular with different voter groups, so having them in the cabinet may keep certain voters happy to an extent. Okay. I'll leave you to decide the career prospects of your colleagues now. Don't forget you can always view potential replacement ministers before you fire anyone. Sure. Show potential ministers. No experience, but very loyal. Form. Curious. Fascinating. Foreign policy, sympathies, religious capitalist, effectiveness, experience. This is so complicated, seriously. Welfare minister, management industry is kind of bad. Kind of bad at her job. Tax is also kind of bad at his job. Public services, law and order minister. Transport is pretty bad at his job. What should we do? Popularity is pretty low. Intelligence briefing, wow. Threat assessment. This is your intelligence briefing room. We monitor a number of organizations. Some of them are relatively harmless, but they can act as gateways into more extremist, dangerous groups. So we still need to keep an eye on their membership. Our chances of preventing attacks on government will vary based on what security policies are in place. Sure. Security effectiveness ineffective. Armed police 58%. Intelligence services 78%. Yeah, but there's no terrorists yet. Security effectiveness ineffective? Really? Curfews, detention without trial, ID cards, wiretapping, tasers, police drones. Okay, well, interesting. Intelligence, polling, budget, policy ideas, welfare, rent controls. Well, the rent is too damn high. An alternative to state housing is a system where state will regulate private rental market in a bid to ensure the supply of affordable housing for all, even within the private sector. Capitalists would naturally see this as a distortion of the free market that will prevent enough homes being built, whereas supporters will say it prevents exploitation of the poor by greedy landlords. Yeah, so I don't know if you've played Monopoly. You probably have. Monopoly talks about how rent-seeking behavior and the ownership of land eventually leads to all the wealth accumulating in one person. Despite the point of Monopoly, if you've played it, so you have multiple players, right? Anything from 2 to 4 players, or like how many players you want. So everybody plays the same game, and everybody follows pretty much the same strategy. But in the end, somebody wins, and everyone else loses. That's the point of Monopoly. The point of Monopoly, the board game, is that just through sheer luck, so even if everybody follows the same strategy, because you're throwing dice, some people are going to be more lucky than others, and just like small differences in luck will magnify over time until everyone is bankrupt except one person who owns all the money and all the property. And that's the game. Like, people play Monopoly as though it's a board game. It's actually a critique of rent seeking and ownership of land. Welfare fraud department. Potential cost, potential income. It costs a lot, but it earns very little. So, okay. It costs money, but it doesn't gain any income. Child benefit, disability benefit. Wait, why is that not popular with people? That's the weirdest thing. State housing costs. State housing costs less than rent controls. That's fascinating. But it costs more political capital to implement. But it's cheaper and it's more popular. Winter fuel subsidy? Somehow people don't like that.